What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Crypto Kindness channel. My name is Jeff, and in today's video, just going to do a little bit of engaging with the live chat today, kind of a follow-up. Ask me anything, although, I mean, who am I, right? But on yesterday's stream with Titanx founder Jake Sharpe and longtime crypto investor Joe Parys. It was a fantastic stream. Had a lot of fun. So let's let you know. I want to jump right into questions. I didn't get too much of a chance yesterday to wrap with the live stream, so I want to do that today. I'm going to talk to you all, engage with you all. The focus of yesterday's stream was on those two gentlemen to get the questions answered. So, but before we jump right in, I do want to ask you a 10-second favor, if you would. YouTube analytics show that only about 23% of people that actually watch these live streams subscribe to the channel. My goal with this channel over the next 18 months is to bring on guests that are crypto founders, longtime investors, anybody that's going to bring great value to you and I to help us learn as much as we can in this next 18 months to maximize our outcomes in this crypto bull market. And to help me do that, to help you, please take a minute and hit the subscribe button. The number one thing that guests look at when they are invited onto a channel is how big is that person's audience. So to help me help you, please click the subscribe button. Now, with that being said, nothing on this channel is financial advice. These are just my opinions, and they're worth what you paid for it. Most of that is zero. Moving forward, I also want to just kind of put this out there that today's date is December 2nd. So the information is only pertinent to today and maybe the next few days. If you're watching this like in March, just turn it off. It's worthless. So there's that. So let's jump in. This stream is for you all. The whole point here is to engage and answer your questions. I got a lot of questions yesterday during the stream that I couldn't get to. And also in my Twitter, lots of DMs, everything. I appreciate y'all reaching out to me. But this is for you. This is for you. So I'll jump in with some of the things that I want to share. But as questions come in, we're just going to have fun this morning. So number one thing here, first of all, I'm going to say hi to a couple people. This is by far my favorite one this morning. Mackenzie, glad you're here. Like the video or leave the country. A lot of people are already trying to leave the country. Puerto Rico seems to be a top destination. Crypto Mom is here. Thank you for being here. And thank you for being there yesterday as well. Crypto Mom was one of my moderators. We're doing our best to keep the chat on the up and up. Obviously, this is Crypto Kindness channel, so any sort of nonsense or debauchery is just going to be sent away. We don't have time for that type of stuff. Ryan Torres, thank you for being here from Hawaii, I believe. Will Smith, like that like button. That's a good one. Let's move the algorithm up. Yes, absolutely. Coming in from Thailand this morning. Awesome. I love the fact that we're global on this. Is one of my favorite things about doing YouTube, that it's a benefit I never realized was going to exist, but I'm building connections and friends all across the globe. Like, I'm looking forward to visiting some friends in Australia now. How fun is that going to be? Jonah, thank you for listening. I appreciate this. Just subbed. Thank you for the content. Absolutely. My goal here is to help you be successful, because I know that if I do that, I'll probably be successful too. It's not about me though. Already very blessed. Jeff, you've been such an inspiration. Well, thank you for that. I don't know how, but I'm glad I can do that for you. And that comment to me is an inspiration as well to keep me going. So thank you. Thank you. So let's jump right in. One of the things I want to share here straight away is Mr. Mike Dean. I hope he's going to pop in here with his beautiful Dune dashboards. Let me go ahead and present, share screen, yada, etc. And we're going to roll Dune dashboard. So if you are not using this tool, you are doing it wrong. And I'm going to say that as nice as possible, but you're doing it wrong. Shaka vibes. We're going surfing one day, buddy. I'm not sure if you're a surfer, but we're going to figure it out. Shout out to Mike Dean. Awesome. Absolutely. Mike Dean is really kind of, I'm from the Zen community, still a firm believer in Zen. Got my Zen hat on right here. A lot of people in the Zen community know Joseph, who's built a lot of dashboards and tools for Zen. I think Mike Dean is going to be the Joseph. I say it wrong every time. I need to get travel across the world a little bit more. Yosef, Mike Dean is going to be the Yosef of Titanx, and he's also building a YouTube channel. So let's support Mike Dean when he comes out with that. So the Dune dashboard is awesome. Absolutely. So let's take a quick look at this Dune dashboard. Yesterday, I made a casual suggestion on stream that one of the metrics was a little bit hard to read. So we're going to go straight here to Mike Dean's dashboard. And the one metric that was a little tough to read just because it was skewed by the large 280-day mints was this Titanx future supply. And what I really like that he did here is he kept the old graph so you can kind of see the incredibly large spikes of supply. But he also added a log chart on that graph. So it's a little bit easier to understand what's happening in the near term. Because on this graph here, if you're looking at the near term, it really just looks like there's nothing coming out at all. And then there's this like giant Dubai size skyscraper here. And you're like, oh, okay, this is all I got to avoid, but I can go anywhere in here in terms of timeframes for mint ending. But that data is like, if you just look at it on the surface, it was a little bit off. So by adding log scale, it kind of gives you a better idea here as to where a lot of these mints are coming out. So, you scroll over this and it's like, oh, okay, January 15th. There's a little spike here at January 24th. Well, why is that? Well, that's the 90-day payout. And then you can find areas where there isn't a lot of supply coming out as well. And maybe those are good target areas. So anyway, awesome work, Mike Dean. Thank you for doing that. Another thing I really like about this dashboard is if you come down here a little bit below that future supply, all of the dates are spelled out for you for the payouts. Every 8 days, the 8-day payout, 12/6, December 6th, 28, 12/22, December 22nd. So this dashboard is just baller on data. Absolutely baller. And what's really cool about this is you can use this dashboard coupled with another dashboard to really dive in deeper. So let me come back to the chat here. Crypto Deutschland, why don't you ask my question to Jake that I pay for? Out of fear? No, actually, there were a few super chats that came in yesterday that I did not acknowledge, which I know is bad form. And I apologize for that. So let's go ahead and ask that question again here, and I'll answer it if I can. And if it is something that's only for Jake, I'll acknowledge that. And, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. Let's see here. Win Lambos. Soon enough. I mean, I was actually just going through Facebook Marketplace the other day and found an old Lambo for about 25 G's. So define Lambo. Maybe it's today. What is my Titanx strategy? Okay, I will share a strategy that I have been working on. Keep in mind, my strategy changes often as the data changes often. Nothing I say is financial advice. Of course, if you take financial advice from a random dude on Twitter, it's probably not very smart. I learned a lot of lessons along the way, and I've paid dearly for some of those lessons, but that's okay. That's how you learn lessons. My strategy as of right now, subject to change, I'm doing a 1/3 strategy. So the lesson I learned in DB Zen and Zen was only doing long-term mints was a terrible idea. And this is all, understand this is from my standpoint. Your standpoint might be different. I know Hex or Mackenzie that's on here. I mean, she just does all long-term everything because she's not focused on short-term gains. Maybe, whatever. So the mistake I made with Zen is that I did 100% long-term, just long-term. And for a year and a half, I sat there and watched everybody else, Crypto Profeta, Trevon, Crypto Bra, all these people that did short-term mints, medium-term mints, and long-term mints. They made money the entire time. And they used those short-term mints to fuel their long-term mints. So at some point, those people had all of their mints paid for by the house. They were playing with house money because they had already won. The other lesson I learned from DB Zen was the people that staked earliest made the most. Period. So what does Titanx have that is comparable to those things? Well, it has staking early, paid by a pool of ETH that comes in early, very comparable to DBZ. And it has long-term, short-term, mid-term minting capabilities. So I didn't make those mistakes again. And that proved to be very lucrative, I guess you could say. So current strategy is, again, I can't say this enough, not financial advice, guys. I'm just a dude that wears a hat in his living room and talks on YouTube. But it's a 1/3 strategy. So basically, at this point, all of my mints are on the house. And every time I claim something, I come to this dashboard of Mike Dean's, and I look at what's happening. I look at, am I claiming in a period of time that is a lot of Titanx is coming out of the market, inflation? If that's the case, I do nothing because there's more than likely going to be a sell-off. And once that sell-off ends, the buy and burn is going to start ticking it back up. And I'll wait if I'm going to sell. But my strategy as of right now is a 1/3 strategy. So 1/3 of any of my mints, I remove my initials, or I just remove 1/3. It tends to be more than my initials. So I take that out. I'm always taking profit. I take 1/3 and I stake it because of the lesson I learned through DBZ. Early stakers have the most. And for me personally, those are long-term stakes, just max stake everything. And then I 1/3 sell for ETH to create more future miners. So that way I'm catching every game in the event of any significant change. So if Titanx goes to hell in a handbasket and rugs, I've been taking profit the entire time. If the staking game ends up being the most profitable, then I've been staking the entire time. And if Titanx does 1,000x in 18 months, 24 months, I always have long-term miners coming out to capture that. So it's just every single way it's compounding. But no matter what, I'm always taking profits. Biggest lesson I learned over the last 2 months or 2 years of getting my teeth kicked in is I'm taking profits. I don't care. I'd rather take a 2x and watch the price run up from there and just be happy. Hey, I got my 2x and I've got more coming, and I've got yield coming in from staking. So that's my strategy now. I'll tell you that has changed often. And it will more than likely change again because we have hyper coming. We have, which is, the game theory on that is just exciting. And we have, as people are chasing hyper, there's going to be a lot more Titan coming on the market during those periods of time. And so it's going to change. It's absolutely going to change. So I hope that was an okay answer. Frosty Dog. You want to surf anytime you want? I'll supply boards and break up in here in Puerto Rico. Reach out to me. Actually, I'm going to be in Puerto Rico in about 3 weeks. So depending on where you are, maybe. That'd be awesome. Let's see. Honesty is what gets people to gravitate towards you. Oh, right on, Mo. Actually, follow the Mo on Twitter. He's been doing some dashboard confessionals, if you will, from his car on Titanx, and they're really fun to watch. It's pretty neat to see the community come out on Titanx. I mean, it's really brought a lot of people out there excited. I'd like to make a meme. If I knew how to to create crypto, I would love to build on Titanx, and I'd make it a meme coin. And I would call it making crypto fun again, because that's what Titanx is doing. It's making crypto fun again. Now that's not really a catchy hashtag MFCG, MFCA, can't really spell. But what a fun meme coin that could be, making crypto fun again. That's Titanx. Build it on Titanx. Build it with a buy and burn. Build it with a burn liquidity. Kind of do all of the intertwining of burns, liquidity, burn pools, all this type of stuff that Jake has done with Titanx. And guess what? Probably do pretty well, but I don't know how to do that. So if anybody out there does know how to do that, hit me up. I'd be happy to get in early on that too. So Lyle says, what is your biggest uncertainty, fear, question mark when it comes to Titanx project and its success? With 6,000 unique holders at the moment, do you think 75,000, 100,000 is possible in the bull run? I think 75,000 to 100,000 is possible in the next 3 months. Straight up. Bull run? Absolutely. One of the things that Joe said yesterday, Joe Parys said on the stream yesterday, I thought was fantastic, is, play every game as though it's going to be a mooner, and also play every game as though it's going to rug. So it's really nice to focus on like, oh, this is going to go to the moon, and all this energy we see. We've got almost 185 people here. It'd be awesome when we get 100 talking about it today. Shit happens, and we don't know what's going to happen. So Joe basically said, yeah, this has the fundamentals to be a mooner, a long term. I asked him the question, could Titanx be the hex of 2024? And he gave a fantastic answer to that. I mean, basically it was, I don't know. We don't know. The fundamentals are there. The strength in the code is there. The legwork that Jake has done is there. The community building is there. The green candles are there. So yes, based on those metrics, it could happen, but we just don't know what's going to happen in the greater universe, especially. I mean, the world's going to hell in a handbasket. So you have to be prepared for the non-favorable outcome too. But the short answer to that question is, yeah, I think we can hit 75,000 to 100,000 wallets very easily. The other question is, what is my biggest fear or question mark? That's a really good question. So let's go back to this Dune dashboard, and I am no longer guessing. I'm just using data because it's so easy to find. Titanx dashboard. Thank you, sir. Mike Dean. All shouts out to him. A lot of people are really focused and concerned on this. Well, what happens in 280 days? My favorite old Richard Hart quote is the imaginary horribles. And the Titanx fudders will say, well, in 280 days, the entire supply is going to be sold. Yeah, because that happens. I don't really worry about this at all, because if you're playing your game right, you should be collecting profit all along this timetable, because there's so many different ways to do it. You've got December 22nd is a big date. So I'm looking at it here, and I'm going to come back over here and find December 22nd. And we got 169 billion Titan coming on market. And all surrounding that, the day before, 179 billion, the day before, 133 billion. And so you could build a narrative around this and say, oh, everybody's going to sell and the price is going to go to zero on this date. Well, but did it? I mean, we already saw a large influx of supply coming on the market just recently. And so let's look at the price chart and see what that did. We're going to go DEX tools, and I know I got to bring this back up on my screen. You guys aren't seeing this. And let's come here. What we saw is different than what most people thought. And that's kind of what's cool about all this. So everybody thought the price was absolutely going to crater. And this was going to be a moment when all of the fudsters got to say, aha, I told you so. Let's see. So we want to take this down to a 30-minute chart. And I'm going to zoom in a tick. Bear with me a second, guys. And we're going to elevate that. I analyze these things in multiple different ways, not just 5-minute, 10-minute, any of this type of stuff. Oh, I probably should have done a longer time frame, but all right, we're getting there. Sorry for the painful process there. So where was let's see, right here, I think November 24th-ish. Yeah, November 24th. Right here. So somewhere in this time frame, yes, the price did bleed out as lots of supply came on the market and people sold. But what's important to pay attention to is what happened after that. And this kind of just goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like if you have miners ending in a period of time where there's a lot of inflation coming on the market, don't panic. Just wait longer or stake it. It depends on your strategy. You can just stake it and be done. But a lot of people came on the market and they quick sold. Now, maybe they took profit, maybe they did more miners, whatever have you, but we saw a price dip. The price dip did not go nearly as deep as I thought it was. I thought we were going to retest the all-time lows or even go farther below. It did not. And almost immediately, so we see here November 24th. Here's where the 25th starts. Almost immediately after that sell-off happened, boom, it went 2x, 3x from the sell-off. It's held pretty steady since then. Over the last 3 to 5 days, there's actually been a whale selling about 36 to 40 billion. The buy and burn contract has gobbled all of that up. And you can almost see right here on the chart specifically where he ran out of Titan. And guess what's happening? Now the buy and burn is buying into a low liquidity environment because there's not a lot of Titan coming out on the market. I expect a pattern of this to continue happening over time. So going back to the initial question, what's my biggest fear? Am I worried at all about this 280-day monster? Nah, I'm not. Because there's going to be so many things, hopefully at that point, for people to take this Titan and do with, in terms of, hopefully the hyper mechanics work out so that people want to take this and burn it for hyper, or, potentially the staking pools are still really big as people are continuously mining for more hyper in the future. So staking it could still be a profitable possibility. More than likely, there's going to be 4 or 5 other dApps built on top of this. I know that there's a meme coin game being built on Titan right now. I know there's all sorts of stuff coming out. So I don't have a biggest fear at this point. To answer the question, this is really terrible answer, honestly. Sorry, guys, I'm rambling. But I don't have a biggest fear because I've already shared with you that I learned my lessons from the other protocols. So at this point, everything is on the house. So if it all goes to hell in a handbasket, I personally don't care. But I don't want that for you because I know some of you have just done all long-term miners and maybe aren't in a position right now where, if it does all go bad, you would be pretty bummed out about that. So just plan on different events surrounding different timeframes, and all of that data is available here on the Dune dashboard. Take a look at it, see when there's huge spikes of supply coming out, and come up with a strategy to avoid it. Maybe do you front run it? Do you do miners in front of that? Do you really maximize the staking strategies? Do you maximize your learning on hyper? The good news is with data like this, you have everything you need to prepare and come up with a strategy. So I don't have any long-term fears because from my position, it doesn't matter what happens at this point. One of the fears that I hear a lot is, Jake's going to rug it. Jake's going to rug it. That question, I asked him that very specifically yesterday. And in fact, it came in from one of you all. What happens if the V1 pool, if the entity that controls the V1 pool somehow becomes incapacitated? Jake dies. let's call a spade a spade. And he said, guess what? That's a risk. It's crypto. The world is a risk. What would have happened after 2 years with Amazon if just Jeff Bezos died? Probably wouldn't be the company that we know today. You cannot remove 100% of risk. And by the way, if you remove 100% of risk, you're going to remove the majority of the upside potential, because risk is what actually gives you the volatility and the growth. The people that don't take risk, they're earning 3% on their savings account on the bank right now. The people that do take risk, they're earning a shit ton of ETH in the staking pools and Titanx right now. So where do you want to be? If you want no risk, why are we here today? Why are we talking? Because you could just go do your 5-month CD and be safe as can be. So how about that for a long diatribe of absolutely useless information? Let's see here. What other questions do we have right now? Benjamin says, liquid loans, biggest fraud yet. The founder will be behind in bars in 2025. Interesting statement. I don't know what that comes from. I don't know anything about that. So sorry, I thought that was a Titanx question. Let's see. I know you like B-Roots. Do you know why he has called Titanx trash? He's not a DeFi guy. I'm new to following him. Specifically, I don't know why he calls it trash. He is a meme coin guy. So I can't answer that question. I don't know. I know when he initially tweeted about it, he said it's got the best Ponzi-nomics ever in terms of tokenomics and the early pay. What is it? The late people pay the early people and nobody makes money. That's what a Ponzi is. We'll see. We'll see. I can't speak to why he calls it that. Let's see. Staking Titanx last night, but the gas fees were outrageous and didn't do it. Yeah, Titanx is built on Ethereum. Ethereum gas fees are going to go through the roof. It's the price you pay. It's the price you pay to be on the blockchain that has the most economic energy. It is what it is. There's ways to get around that. You can set gas limits on your MetaMask so that the transaction will happen later down the road when the gas prices drop. You can, we can go back to the old days of the last bull market where people were up at 3 a.m. on Sunday night to catch lowest gas so that they can, not get eaten alive doing these transactions. It's a thing. You just have to deal with it. It's interesting when you ask people that have been in crypto for a long time that have figured out how to make money in these games, and they don't care about the gas because they're like, well, if you're doing it right, you're making enough money. $150 transaction isn't that big of a deal. I look at some of my long-term miners right now, and they're up 2,500%. So, okay, so if I've made 10 grand on that and the transaction fee is $175, do I care? No. So that's the goal. Put yourself in a position where you don't care. But I don't want to be a jerk answering that question because I'm in the same boat right now. Like, I just waited until last night. I did a couple miners last night. I waited until 11 p.m. when gas dropped below 30 because I'd rather put that extra ETH into a miner than give it to burning Ethereum. Let's see here. How much pay staking giving? Okay, Blue Crypto. How much APY do you think staking is giving? I don't need to think. You don't need to guess. We have all of the options available to us to answer this. So let's go take a look together. I'll teach you how to do this. Let's see, app.titanx.win. And let me verify that y'all can see this. Nope, you can't. So let's take care of that problem. Share screen. All right, guys, here we go. Jake has built an amazing user interface. This is by far the easiest user interface for me that I know, and I don't know every crypto. There's probably better ones out there, but in my experience, this is the best. So on the main page, we just go over to tools. There's calculator. You scroll down, Titanx Win Staking. There's 2 tabs here. There's mining and there's staking. And so then here on the staking, you can put in the amount of Titan you're going to stake. So I always, I put in $1 billion because I like to think of myself as a billionaire. And we'll take a look at it. There's 3 key points that you need to pay attention to on this page. And so I'm just going to hit it like timeout, technical timeout, pay attention right now. There's one data point that a lot of people miss on this that actually makes a very big deal. So, this data point is huge right here. Stake length, max versus, I know people are like, oh, I want to do a 120-day stake so I can take my Titanx out. Let's look at the difference. So if we do a 120-day stake of $1 billion Titan, your share of the pool is 0.028%, and your ROI is 15.9% over a year, or I guess this is actually over the long term, 369, 888, stuff like that. That number is wrong, and that's what I'm going to show to you. But if you simply do a max term, we'll hit the max button. Watch what happens. You went from a 0.02% stake to a 0.11. That's almost 6x more shares by going max term. And it gives you almost a 6x, 5.5x on ROI. And here's a big deal. This ROI is ETH on ETH ROI, not USDC. So this Ethereum this ROI is calculated on Ethereum put in, Ethereum taken out. And in the bull market, that is such an important detail because I see people saying, well, I made $500 on this particular thing. I'll just use Zen as a perfect example. So in the bull market, I'm seeing people do this right now, and it's a mistake. So if you spent 0.1 Zen, I'm sorry, 0.1 ETH to create a Zen mint a year ago, and then yesterday you spent 0.1 ETH to collect it, you have 0.2 ETH altogether into that Zen collection. And then you go and sell it, and you sell it for 0.16 ETH. You would have made USDC profit because the price of ETH has gone up 30, 40, 50% since a year ago. So from a USDC standpoint, you would be in the black, but you actually lost value because you got less ETH back than you put into it. The base coin that you used to create that Zen has appreciated more than the Zen itself. That's a very important thing. So that's why this data on the Titan dashboard is so cool, because this is ETH on ETH return. That is important. Now, the next thing that you'll probably say to me is, yeah, Jeff, I don't want to put my Titanx in there for 3,500 days because I want it out. What if it does 1,000x and I want to sell that Titanx? Well, guess what? You have Hyper. It's the whole reason behind Hyper. It's why this is an amazing protocol. If you say, frick, man, Titanx just did 120x. I want to take out my billion Titanx, but I can't. I locked it at 3,500. Well, burn the stake. Burn the stake for Hyper, and then you have liquid Hyper, and you can sell liquid Hyper on the market. You can sell liquid Hyper back into your Titan. You can stake your liquid Hyper. There's so many ways to become liquid on this stake. So when you create a stake of Titan, I'm not going to say what I do is I do max term on everything, because I know that if in the event that I want to take this out, I can simply burn for Hyper, become liquid, and then sell. So Hyper gives you the option to get out of your max term length, and it gives you many different options to further compound your investment as well. Hyper is amazeballs, absolutely amazeballs. So those are the first 2 points. Pay close attention to the difference in ROI on max term versus short term. It's ETH on ETH payout, but this is the biggest nugget that I want you to hear. So I'm going to take a look here. In order to look at these dashboards, I have to go away from the screen. So I've got 113 people that are about to get some pretty good information here. First and foremost, Crypto Mom, smash the likes. Absolutely. If you like Titanx, if you want Titanx to do well, it has to trend in the algorithms, and that takes you clicking the like button or sharing on Twitter. But you guys ready for this? This is the big one. This ROI right here, 60.86%, is based on these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 data points: 8-day payout, 28-day payout, 90-day payout. It equals 60.86%. What are we missing? You're about to find out. What are we missing? Guess what? In 8 more days, there's going to be another 8-day payout. And then 8 days after that, there's another 8-day payout. And then there's going to be another 28-day payout on the 56th day. And then there's going to be another 90-day payout on the 180th day. This data point, 60.86%, is only based on one 8-day payout, one 28-day payout, one 90-day payout. In 180 days, you're actually going to get, I think, 13 8-day payouts, 4, 5, 6 28-day payouts, and 2 90-day payouts. This ROI is a little misleading. And I probably shouldn't have told you that, because that information kind of shies people away from staking, when in reality, I sit down. So I got a fun story to tell you. Yesterday after my stream, I sat down for a long consulting session with one of my clients, and we went over this. And he's got a pretty big bag, and he's like, I got this large amount and I'd like to stake it. And he was looking at that page. He was looking at he's looking at this page. It's like, well, Jeff, it's only going to give me, his number was pretty big. It's only going to give me a 50. I'm wrong on that. It's like 150% ROI over 888 days. That's not worth it. And I was like, let's talk further. So then we went through every 8-day payout. And of course, we had to use some assumptions in there. We don't know how much ETH is going to come into the miner. So we don't know what the next 8-day payout is. We don't know what the next 28-day payout is, but we do know that they exist. So we had to build a model based on some assumptions. But by the time we were done building the model, he was going to ROI in about 36 days. And then after that, all of your future yield is on the house. And you still have all of that all of that Titan still in the stake. So you can burn it for Hyper. And then you can sell it on the market. It's pretty freaking awesome. I hope you heard that. I'm not going to repeat it. So let's see. Pac-Man is here. Pac-Man, I'm glad you're here, man. I saw your comment on the stream yesterday, and you said you're going to give this one a whirl. I love it. Let's see. Staking rewards, HODL 4, life. Staking rewards in Titan is special. Biggity bam. You're right about that. Can't figure out where to get started. Joshua Hill. Can't figure out where to get started. Joshua Hill, tell me more. What do you mean you can't figure out where to get started? Let me start for you and just show you where to get started. Do this. Type this into your browser, app.titanx.win. And guess what, Joshua? Now you know where to get started. That was pretty fun, wasn't it? Very easy. Do you have ETH in your MetaMask wallet or your Trust wallet or your Rabbi wallet that you can connect to this website? If you do not know how to have a decentralized wallet, a hot wallet or a cold wallet, Ledger, Trezor, then you're going to have a hard time getting started, and maybe reach out to me. I've got my email is linked in the video description below, and I do that also. I do offer one-on-one consulting, which is my favorite thing. I've built some great relationships with people, and we have a lot of fun doing this stuff. And as I was telling you about the client I sat down with yesterday, we're getting together in person. It's a lot of fun. But nonetheless, I got distracted. You go up here, you hit connect wallet. You select MetaMask, Rainbow, Coinbase, whatever have you. I don't recommend Coinbase wallets, but Rabbi's here, Trust Wallet, OKX wallet. I don't care for OKX either. You have options. You simply connect it. If you have ETH in your wallet, then that's fantastic. You need, if you want to do a max power miner, 100 is the max power. Then you need 0.2057 ETH to get started, plus gas fees. You'd be better off with 0.3 ETH. And then your miner length, you get to pick that. You can do 30 days, 60 days, whatever number of days you want. It's your world and we live in it. And that's how you get started. Create wallet. Connect wallet, I'm sorry. It'll say start mint. And then once you've done that, you'll come down here and it will show your active miners. It'll tell you the day that you need to claim it. And it is obnoxiously easy. And if you want to have, maybe your next question is, well, how much Titan will I get? Awesome. Great question. Jake built an amazing UI. You come over here to tools, you hit calculator, you come down here to the Titanx.win mining, number of miners. We're going to do one, miner length, 45 days, miner power, 100, and your answer lies right in front of you, my friend. Estimated Titanx at the end, 330,285,188, and that is without early adoption bonuses. The return on a 45-day miner right now is 649.27%. Are you freaking kidding me? That's amazing. Subject to change. That absolutely will change. Do not sell your house based on that information. So I hope that was clear. Excellent stream. You are a talented educator. Thank you. REKT USA Force. Very kind of you. Very kind. Let's see. Come on, y'all. Hit me up. Hit me up. Do you believe that hyper token price in the future will be relatively close to the Titanx price liquidity pair? I heard Jake say one hyper token will be one Titanx token. That's a good question. Will the price be the same or close? I don't know. We have to see how the market responds to hyper. It is designed to actually be a 2x of Titan price. That is what Jake has said. It's designed to be a 2x because it's going to be a leverage play on Titan. As he said, the Archimedes lever, maybe it's not Archimedes. I think it is Archimedes lever. Hyper is designed to be a leverage play on Titanx. And there's a lot of ways he built it. I am not technically smart enough to tell you all of those ways. I am, however, smart enough to tell you that I don't know what I don't know. And I personally continuously educate myself on this. And one other thing I'll share with you all about that in a minute here. So let's see. So I thought I heard Jake say one hyper token will equal one Titanx token. That is correct. Kind of very early on. There is an early adoption bonus for hyper. I believe it's 1.1 hyper tokens per Titanx. Don't quote me on that. That will be in the white paper when it comes out. And if you've learned anything from this channel, dadgummit, you'd better read the white paper. You have to educate yourself. As much as I would love to be the guy that helps you through this, you have to take some of the initiative on your own. So we will find out, but it's going to be a leverage play. Jake has designed Hyper to be basically a 2x on Titan. And then from here, we just wait to see how the market responds. The market will dictate what the value of Hyper is. Let's see. Summer solstice. God, I love summer. Thank you from Bali. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Thanks for the info. Joshua Hill, we're not done with you. My only option is a minimum of 0.2 ETH to get started. No, it is not. Let's go back to the app.titanx calculator. More importantly, this tells you everything you need. So miner power is the number you're going to mess with if you don't want to do a 0.2. And I get it. 0.2 is like $500. You know, that's a big YOLO if you're still kind of trepidatious surrounding this. So the data you need right here is everything that you need. So you can mess with this number. Watch what happens when we take this miner power down to 50. Now we're down to 0.103 ETH. So you don't just need 0.2 ETH. You can do less. What if your miner power is 5? You just need 0.01 ETH. The miner power dictates how much Titanx the miner mines. So it's basically think of I was going to give a really bad example that I'm not going to do. But the miner isn't quite as powerful as a max miner, which is 100. This will still mine ETH. This will still mine Titan. It costs less. So if 0.2 is a barrier of entry for you, I get it. You don't have to have 0.2. If you wanted to do a 1 power miner, it's 0.002 ETH. It's $4. That would be silly, personally, because you're going to pay a $15 transaction fee for that on the front end and probably more on the back end. Still's giving you a 649% ROI, but I don't think the ROI on that even covers the gas fees. But, let's say, hey, Jeff, I want to dabble. I'm going to do a 35 power miner. It's still going to generate you 115 million Titan. And this is a 45-day miner. So if you want to strengthen that a little bit, maybe take it out to 60. Great idea would be go to the Dune tab that we've already discussed and look at some time frames when maybe there's a scarcity of Titanx coming on the market. You don't necessarily want to be lumped in with the herd. And this is, look, man, right now a 60-day miner at a mining power of 35 costs you 0.072 ETH, which is $151. And it's going to return to you $14.84 at today's spot price, subject to change. Of course, we don't know if that's going to be the case in 60 days. Could be better, could be worse. That's the risk you take. But you don't have to start with that big number. You can just bump it down to 14 mining power. And now you're at a 0.029 ETH at $60. And you could still walk out with 881% return. ETH on ETH return, mind you. And everything is subject to change. Nothing I'm saying is financial advice. These are just data points for you to consider. What do you predict the gas fee would be on a 280-day miner when it is claimed? So what's really fun about this, guys, is I think there's a lot of concern surrounding the ending gas price. And as for me and my experience, I can tell you where that concern comes from. I'm only kind of postulating where you're thinking, where the concern comes from you. Hex stakes are expensive AF to end in a bull market where ETH is going through the roof. Zen miner claims, Zen minting claims are expensive AF because it's all based on a calculation using time and date and block size and all this type of stuff. Jake designed Titanx to not be like that. He recognized that was a pretty significant friction point for people in both Hex and Zen, and didn't want people to be penalized for doing long-term miners. So the good news is the price of claiming a miner or staking or claiming a stake is simply, and I'll give you the numbers. Let me see. I'm going to do a share screen. Be patient. Be patient. We're going to go here, here. Nah, that's not what I wanted to do. El Jefe. All right, all of your data is at fingertips. You can calculate this. It is subject to change, of course, because we know that gas is going to change, but your answer is straight up on the Etherscan website. I'm going to double check that. So Jake designed claims, mint claims, stake claims, everything to be comparable to the price of a Uniswap transaction. So how do we get what a Uniswap transaction is at any gas level? We are on etherscan.io on the main page. Right at the top, you come over to the right, you see medium gas price, 36 Gwei. You can click on 36 Gwei, bam, and it gives you more information. It gives you average costs. A swap, this is going to be a decentralized exchange swap, costs you 26 bucks right now on the low end, 29 on the high end. NFT sale, 45 to 48. So I can't tell you what it's going to be if the gas is 80 Gwei, because that data isn't here right now. But the next time gas is 80 Gwei, come and do what I just showed you how to do. Look at what it's going to cost for a swap. Look at the high end. It's probably going to be about 75 bucks. And so that's what it's going to cost. It's not going to be an absurd number. It's not going to be like claiming a ZenFT where it's like 4 ETH and you're like, whatever, it's not worth it. It's simply a Uniswap cost. Hope that answered your question. Yo, man, y'all are piling in. 123. If I am missing something and then you feel like it's an important question, please put it back in the chat. I cannot keep up here. What is the max supply of Titan? There is no max supply. This is an endless mint coin. It is, however, designed to become very scarce over time because Hyper is going to burn it. And the mechanics of what's happening with the Titanx mint is it's awesome. I'm not gonna lie, it's awesome. So let me share a tweet that a gentleman named Prairie Banana put out. And I shared this yesterday on stream. This is such a visual shocker. Like, if you don't get it, you know, what is it? A picture's worth 1,000 words. Oh God, what have I done here? That was supposed to be something else. Okay, well, let me stop sharing this until I figure out what the heck I'm doing. I don't know where this went. I got to go to my bookmarks. Sorry, guys. Just be patient with me. Here we go. Got it. All right, we'll come back. Now that I just probably showed too much. Actually, I didn't. I don't care. My Twitter's pretty straight up. Okay, take a look at this tweet. Don't worry so much about the future supply. Pay attention to how quickly that supply goes scarce. And this visualization really kind of hit me like a brick. Day one, Titanx, you could mine 8 million Titan per day. 6 months later, in May 12th, you're only mining 4 million per day. The ability to mine future Titan goes down very fast. But there's more. It's like an infomercial. But wait, if you order today, not only does the production of Titanx go down fast, there should be another data point on this, which shows the cost to produce goes up. So it is an inverse relationship. Supply created, down, price up. So you're not going, like, for example, it costs you 0.2 ETH on day one to create 8,000 Titan a day. It's going to cost you 0.26 ETH to create 4, it's million. I said 8,000, it's actually 8 million. It's going to cost you 0.26 ETH to create 4 million Titan a day on May 12th. And then further down the road, it's going to cost you 0.35 ETH or something, I'm guessing at this point, to create 1 million Titanx per day on June 12th, 2025. So there's an inverse relationship. Titanx supply, the ability to create Titanx goes down and the price to create it goes up. So there is going to reach some sort of tipping point where it's just bloody expensive to create a little bit of Titanx, and then the market trades become a thing. So I hope that made sense to you. But the answer to your question is there is no cap supply. Kind of like Hex, just keeps inflating. It's not perfect. Let's see. Next question. This is supposed to be a short stream, but you guys are asking awesome questions and I'm having fun rapping with you. So as soon as you get bored, just tell me and we'll wrap it up. Blah, 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 blah. When MEXC, I have no idea. Centralized exchanges tend to not like fair launch cryptos because in order for them to get a fair launch crypto, they either have to market buy it themselves or they have to mint it themselves. They're huge organizations. They don't want to do those things. So unless Titanx starts printing some super sweet candles and an exchange wants to get in, but guess what? That's really good news because if an exchange wants to get in, guess what? They're buying it from you and from me. They are not, unless they mint it. I mean, MEXC did actually mint a bunch of Zen. So that's a thing. Pac-Man says, take a look at Jake. He did not take 2 years to do. Oh God, I should have maybe read this before I put it up on screen because reading is not my strength. Nah, we're just going to forget that one. Sorry. Basically, the long and short of that is like the tweet that Jake put out today. I didn't charge anybody any money. I didn't do a sacrifice. I didn't raise huge capital. I didn't fork a code. I built something new from scratch and I delivered on time. Who's the scammer now? I love it. I mean, it's a valid point. Everybody's calling him a scammer, but did he do a sacrifice? Did he raise money? Did he charge you for something and not deliver? Nope, he didn't. Let's see. More questions. Allie Kane. Hi, Allie. I'm very offended by your comment, and I think I'm going to ban you from my channel. That's an inside joke, by the way. I'm really not that big of a jerk. How much do you think the price will drop on day 280 when there is a massive sell pressure? Imaginary horrible. What if everybody sells all of the Titan? I don't know. What does it matter? That's the better question. Do you not have a minting ladder? Are you not looking at the data that we've talked about at the beginning of this stream or most of the stream? Use the tools available to you. You can see when there's too much Titan coming on the market and you can front run that. I got to stop telling you guys this stuff because I'm giving away my competitive advantage, but that's why I do this channel is because I want to help you. If your only position in Titanx right now is a 280-day miner started on day one and you're going to fall right into this, I don't want to say crevasse, but be on the top of this giant peak of supply, consider making some other miners that come out in other times of scarcity. So that way you're not in there. But wait, there's more. Jake has already said this. Let's share our screen, ladies and gentlemen. Figure out what the heck I'm doing first. Always a good strategy. Figure out what you're doing first. Don't make moves out of emotion. And I'm telling you all these things because I'm actually just telling myself this stuff. Okay, so buy and burn. What happens when on day 280, all the Titan is sold? Wah, wah, wah. Buy and burn V1. Jake has said this many, many times. Buy and burn V1 is the angel that is going to uphold the ecosystem in the event of high inflation periods and huge dumping. Now, 4,458 ETH, currently worth $9 million. This one bloody buy and burn pool is worth more than the entire protocol is right now. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. It's pretty impressive. Now, let me ask you this question. What happens when ETH does a 3x from today's price? Well, that suspiciously looks like $30 million. $30 million of buy pressure sits on the sidelines waiting for events that distribute a lot of Titanx onto the market. Show me another protocol right now where you can say, oh, well, I know for a fact that there's $30 million waiting to buy this. Does that exist in Pulse Chain? Does that exist in Hex? No, people are dumping the ever-living crap out of that. So, of course, the next question is, well, what happens if this? The answer was discussed earlier. What happens if this? Shit happens. Could happen. We don't know. There is risk. Risk is the price you pay for an asset that has a large upside potential. There's risk. Everything we do here is risky. You might lose everything. Do stakes bleed if they are not ended in time? I do not know the answer to that question. I believe, nope, I'm not even going to guess. The answer lies in the white paper. The white paper is linked in the video description below. Go do some research. Your miners do bleed. I know this for a fact. You have 14 days to claim them. I don't know about stakes. Talk about liquidity. Lots of big buyers. Could this hurt the price? Yeah, it could. It could also pump the price. Which narrative do you want to see? The world will always show you what you want to see. Could it hurt the price? Yup. We could focus on a lot of negative stuff. Could it pump the crap out of the price? Yup. We could focus on a lot of positive stuff. But you have options available to you. What are those options? On the Titanx website, you have, under the More tab, statistics. Statistics are a thing, and they're important. Right now, there's only 12% of liquid Titan on the market. 12%. So what happens in a liquidity pool where there is thin liquidity and there's a lot of buyers? The price goes up because there's more competition for fewer Titan. The other thing that's super cool about this protocol is all of the LP fees are burned. Liquidity provider fees. If you don't know, liquidity providers are rewarded for providing liquidity, and they are paid in both of the assets that are used to create the pair. So they're paid in ETH, they're paid in Titanx, if that's what this liquidity pool is. And all of that is burned. So the Titanx that is earned is burned. The ETH that is earned, I believe, buys Titanx and is burned. That was a question I meant to ask yesterday. I don't know that for sure. But we can simply look at the stats page and look, the LP fees are burned. 15 billion Titan has been removed from the market, $150,000 worth. Here's something that's pretty cool. Yesterday, when I did my stream, this was like 100,000. So apparently there's been a lot of trading and almost 50 grand more has been burned. So then the opposite happens. What happens if people are dumping? Well, the liquid supply is going to grow and the liquidity pool is going to make a shift from more Titanx to, I got to think about this. Less Titanx, more ETH. Yeah, to more Titanx, less ETH. And the price will go down a little bit. But all the while, there's this funky little thing happening in the background that people aren't paying attention to. And that is more and more and more supply is just getting stripped off the market and burned. So the more people sell, the more scarce Titanx becomes because there is this mechanism that's happening in the background. The liquidity fees are burned. Awesome sauce. So don't be afraid of that. Selling is a thing. It's going to happen. Don't focus on that. Focus on all the ways that the price could potentially pump. Although it is important to recognize that these things certainly exist. Some of these questions. When do you think Hyper comes to the market? What do you guess? I don't guess. Jake has publicly said he's hoping for 90 to 150 days after the launch of Titan. So 90 to 150 days after the launch of Titan. Where does that live? I believe that lives somewhere between, the 90-day payout is January 24th. Add 50 days to that. So January 24th to March, we'll call it late March, is the estimated time of arrival, subject to change and audits. Audits take a while, so don't pencil it on your calendar and then plan a vacation around it. That would be a bad idea. I currently think your prediction of 75 to 100K holders in 3 to 6 months is an excellent estimate. In my opinion, staking is massively undervalued. Couldn't agree more, Adam. People are asleep at the wheel. People aren't asleep at the wheel. People are curled up in the fetal position in the corner of their house because we have all gotten our asses kicked over this bear market. And I get it. I was very hesitant personally going into Titanx early on because I just there's only so many bricks to the head a guy can take before he doesn't want to go back into the ring. But I'm glad I got over myself and got in. Let's see. Utah Crypto says, great job covering Titanx. Thank you. I appreciate that. Cryptographics, my man, killing it. Crypto kindness. Thank you, Cryptographics. Okay, technical timeout. I love this guy. Cryptographics is amazing. I've had the absolute pleasure of getting to know him personally. We've connected many times, so I want to share this with you because there is so much value. You guys are asking great questions, and I have a resource for you. You do that little nan and boo-boo, like, I know something you don't know. But you're about to know it, so I don't really know something you don't know. I shared this tweet earlier today, and I'm going to show everybody here again. If only I knew how to use Twitter. No, I don't need to do this. Why is it that when you want to do something, it's like the time that they're like, oh, update all of your stuff? I don't want to do that. Okay, here we go. I just put this out there, and I'll actually link it in the video description below if you would like. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will. Here it is. Okay. So, Cryptographics. Awesome, awesome dude. Very, very good teacher. I learned from him. One of the things that I have learned to be incredibly important in crypto, something I never used to do until I started actually offering the service myself, is pay for consultants. The amount of money that I have temporarily misplaced in crypto could have all not happened had I simply paid a couple hundred, maybe a couple $1,000s to a consultant to teach me how to do it. Every mistake I made was predictable and preventable, but I was cheap. I didn't hire a consultant. Now, I pay people weekly to teach me stuff because I'm bloody tired of learning these lessons, and I'd much rather pay for it and learn it straight away. And so I'm going to give you all a great tip. Cryptographics. I have posted this on my Twitter. Cryptographics is doing a weekend-long boot camp next weekend, 6 hours, 2 days, everything Titan, everything hyper. I am attending this, and I don't get any sort of kickback for telling you about this. I think this is worth my time and it's worth my money. And I'm doing this so that I can also bring you all value. If you want to be in the room with me, hey, it's on my Twitter. Check it out. I'll put the link right down here. There is, without a doubt in my mind, I will take away more from this boot camp than I put into it in terms of price. The price of it is like the price of one miner. And I know that I will take information out of that will return far more than the price of one miner. So what's it worth to you? I can't answer that question. There you go. I trust this guy. I'll just tell you that. Keep it with that. Lovely stream. Mike Dean, the man, the myth, the legend, the Dune guy. Thank you for being here, Mike. Appreciate you. Let's see. Any good hyper videos out yet? No, there's not. There's a lot of great hyper conversation out there, but there really won't be any good hyper videos until the white paper comes out. Until then, it's all speculation. Well, actually, it's all speculation, 100%. Always speculation, especially when you're talking about price. But anything on hyper is simply fun talk. I mean, obviously, Jake has shared a lot of information on the design goal, but until the design is put in paper and released, there's not going to be any good videos. There's going to be a lot of strategy that we talked about. Let's see. Alec Kane, Jeff with the TLDR all day, every day. Too long, didn't read. I love it. All right. Titanx hasn't launched yet. You can buy and sell tokens, stake and mine, so it seems launched. I haven't the foggiest idea what you're talking about here, REKT USA Force. Titanx has 100% launched. Maybe you're talking about hyper. Put some clarity out there. I'm worried slightly that you're about to get scammed somehow. I don't know why. I just have a bad feeling about that. I don't understand why there is no max supply. Supply when burn works. There is no max supply because it is an inflationary token, just like there is no max supply to the US dollars because they keep printing them. There is no max supply to HEX because they keep making some. It's part of the contract. It inflates. It grows over time. There is hyper scarcity built into the inflation model, but not anytime soon. We are in a hyperinflationary stand at a try to go a little too fast there. We are at a hyperinflationary period of time in the protocol. Only once there are other protocols that burn Titan and the inflation model of Titan decreases exponentially, then will we be in a deflationary period of time for Titanx. So there is no max supply, there is no minimum supply because the supply dynamics are always shifting. Just like the dollars your government prints. No different. It's actually a pretty common tokenomics model in cryptocurrency. Ethereum is always printing more Ethereum. The question is, on any given day, is Ethereum burning more Ethereum? Then it's printing. In the bull market, it is. In the bear market, it is not. Let's see. Z-Bar came here for the financial advice. Me too. I'm just hoping somebody will give me some because I ain't giving you none. Same financial advice. I know that was a joke, but it's funny. But unfortunately, some people think it's financial advice. So I have to say things like, this isn't financial advice. So many times I want to hit myself in the head. Hit my head against the wall. Because people say, well, you said this. Yeah, I did. And I also said subject to change, not final advice, not financial advice. Why are you listening to a guy on the internet? Cryptographics, what are your thoughts and strategies when burn pool gets activated? Which burn pool? There's a lot of them. There's the V1 burn pool. There's the V2 burn pool. There's going to be a hyper burn pool from the 8% Titanx collected for the burns. There's going to be the ETH burn pool for hyper from the protocol fee collected to burn Titanx for hyper. There's going to be the liquidity burn pool that the liquidity contract burns. Man, there's a lot of ways to burn Titanx. There's a lot of buy and burns happening here. So good question. Slightly more specific. The payout burn pool. Okay. 28-day cycle. Let's take a look. Payouts. Y'all probably can't see this. Okay. Remove, blase, blah, stop screen, present. Oh God, I just did the click. I hate it when my wife does the click, so I can't do the click. What am I, a squirrel? Payouts. Oh, let's see. I don't think I can see it because I don't have my wallet connected, which I'm not going to do. I'm probably not going to be able to payouts, buy and burn, distribute into payouts and buy and burn when this gets activated. I understand the question. The short answer is I don't have an answer. I actually haven't looked into that yet. So sorry, man. Maybe that's something we can learn at your masterclass next weekend. It's under the more burn pool. Yes, I knew I'd seen it somewhere. More burn pools. Okay, there we go. Let me verify that you're all looking at the same thing I'm looking at. Okay, we're going to go back. Okay, so this burn pool, your bonus 28-day burn pool, Titanx burn this cycle, your estimated burn cycle. Sweet Jesus, I didn't even know this was a thing. This is just one other mechanic that's like, what? Are you kidding me? 28-day burn pool payout. Huh. Gonna have to look into that one. So much to learn. This is so fun. Honestly, it is. Yes, I do know, Ted. Thank you. 8% of ETH goes into this pool. It's going to be activated eventually. I got to learn about it. I mean, there's just some things that I don't know about. And this is, yeah, touche. Well done. I think I was just set up there, Cryptographics. That was well played. I walked right into that one. This is why I'm doing a class. And that's why I'm attending the class, my friend. £5 super chat coming in from Hamming Distance. Thank you for your generosity. Very, very much appreciated. Awesome stream. Question: what happens with long long-term stakes when there is no more ETH in the pool because mining is no longer economically viable? That's a great question. There's so many answers available to that. So this is why Hyper exists. So if you're in the long-term staking pool and it's not being fed very much by miners any longer, you can burn your stake for Hyper, and then you are liquid and you have the ability to exit. You can sell. You can trade. You can stake Hyper if Hyper is performing better. You have options for your stake. You're not locked into it like a 15-year hex stake. It's not a, oh, darn, see in 15 years type of situation. It's a, what are my options today? What else can I do? I can burn for Hyper. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I'll get out. My position isn't big enough. It's not worth sticking around. Or Titan is worth so much money now. I don't want to be locked in here anymore. How do I turn this into a liquid, sellable asset? You burn it for Hyper. That's what we know today. There more than likely will be more options in the future. So that's the answer to that question. But the other thing is what I really like here, let's go to the payouts tab, is Jake has built in a couple of long-term carrots that dangle, 369-day payout. This is going to continue growing until day 369 when it gets reset. So there's currently 758 ETH about to get distributed out of this pool. Pretty cool. 880 days from now. So even if no miners come in from here on forward, there's 337 ETH that are going to be distributed to the people that stick out the game. And here's another game theory thing that is pretty friggin' sweet. This is another imaginary horrible, if you will. Take that. What if everybody burns for Hyper and there's too much Hyper? Well, if everybody burns for Hyper, then, and you're the only guy that didn't, then you're the only guy in the staking pool for Titanx, and you're the only guy that gets all of that juicy ETH. So think about that. When everybody else is burning for Hyper, you stay in the ETH pool of Titanx staking and your rewards go up for doing nothing. Pretty sweet, huh? Jiggity. Let's see. I got to wrap this up. This is a half-hour stream that is now an hour and 15 minutes because you guys are here and you guys are awesome. Thank you. Won't Hyper increase liquid supply by unstaking Titanx instead of reducing it? Add if you sell Hyper, won't you get Titanx that will be sold depreciating Titanx? No. This was a huge carrot for me yesterday from Jake. I asked this question. So I was under the impression, and I'm going to ask this question again and again to make sure that the answer I got yesterday was correct. Not saying that he would give me an answer that's other than correct. I want to make sure my interpretation of that answer is correct. So I was wrongly under the assumption, based on yesterday's answer, subject to change, that the burning of Titan for Hyper was similar to the burning of Hex for a stake, where when you stake Hex, you technically burn it, all that Hex is gone, blah, blah, blah. But when you undo that stake, all of that Hex plus some gets recreated. It's like a fishy burn. It disappears, but then it comes back. I was under the impression that when you burned your Titan stake for Hyper, that it just kind of did that disappear thing. But then if you wanted to sell your Hyper back into Titan, the Titan would reappear from that mysterious burn wallet. Jake said, no, that is not correct. When you burn your Titan for Hyper, Titan go bye-bye. It's gone. It ain't coming back. So that Titan that's getting burned for Hyper is gone. Supply down. It's not coming back. So if you want to then sell your Hyper back into Titan, you are buying liquid Titan off of the market, not somebody's burned Titan for that Hyper stake. Does that make sense? It reduces the supply of Titan. That Titan isn't coming back. That was for me like a, la-di-da. That was a good one. So your question being, and if you sell the Hyper, won't you get Titanx? Well, it depends on what you sell your Hyper for. I mean, the initial liquidity pool provided by Jake is going to be Hyper Titanx. But if you, TH, wanted to create a Hyper ETH liquidity pool, you could sell it for ETH. Hyper Hex. You can sell it for Hex. It just depends on, I mean, everybody has an ability to create any liquidity pool that they want. The biggest liquidity pool is most likely going to be Hyper Titanx, which we want, by the way, because back to what I was saying earlier about the beautiful liquidity pool burning, we want the swaps between Hyper and Titanx to be abundant because every single one of them removes Titanx and Hyper from the market. If you're not paying attention, everything is designed to burn Hyper and to burn Titanx. Everything is designed to kill the supply of Titanx over time. Everything is designed to bring value to your asset. It's pretty freaking cool. Don't get too emotionally attached to it. However, shit happens, things change. Hope that answered your question. And if I am wrong, please tell me I am wrong. I'm here to learn just like you are. When will there be scope to mine? What kind of protocols would you personally like to see built to burn Titanx based on what I've seen in Zen and other DeFi? Tough question to answer. I would like to see protocols that have similar game theory and thought process that was put into Titanx to be built on Titanx. One of the challenges with a lot of the fair launch cryptos that were launched on top of Zen is that they removed Zen, but they just turned it into another coin that had an abundance of inflation that had no reason to get rid of that inflation. So you just traded one hyperinflationary coin for another hyperinflationary coin. And it was tied to an asset, Zen, that is currently not appreciating. Will Zen appreciate in the future? Absolutely, I believe so. Still wearing my Zen hat. I still believe, but this day and time, it is not. So you're trading one asset for another that is hyperinflationary, and it's tied to an asset that isn't appreciating. And at the end of the day, one of the things that I have learned in crypto that matters more than anything, I don't care what your narrative is. I don't care if your crypto is going to save all the starving babies in the world. I don't give a crap, because the only thing that really matters is freaking green candles. People chase green candles. People do not like to be underwater in a project for a year and a freaking half. They give up. They go somewhere else. A man can only keep his head underwater so long before he drowns. Go somewhere else. And we're seeing that. We're seeing that. Could that happen with Titanx? Anything can happen. But the mechanics of this so far are freaking phenomenal. And everything it's this intertwined ball where this affects this positively and this affects this positively. And hey, guess what? If you want to nuke the price of Titanx and go on and do a market sell of 15 billion Titanx, do it, man, because you're going to burn so much freaking Titanx and ETH in the liquidity burn pool that you're just reducing the supply. You're going to sell it against yourself. You're going to lose money because of slippage, and that's okay. It's 100% okay. So I would love to see something with game mechanics similar to, and it can be done I don't want to say very easily. I mean, hell, I can barely do this stream without flubbing it up, but some people that are smart could do it very easily. Like I said, I think a meme coin built on Titanx with similar game theory and burn mechanics would freaking do awesome, because Titanx is a leverage play on ETH. We know ETH is going to go up. So based on Hart's law, Titanx should go up. And so if your meme coin is based on Titanx, it's a leverage play on ETH in a roundabout way, in a proxy type of way. So it should also go up based on the market dynamics of ETH. And then if you tie in the buy and burns, if you tie in a few buy and burns to Titanx, and if you burn the liquidity pool, and if you have some sort of small protocol fee to get into your meme coin, that is then creating another pool that burns. You see where this is all going? That's what I would like to see. More thought out, not just, hey, this is cool. Maxim Broadcast is here. It's time for me to shut down the stream, y'all, because I cannot keep up with this guy. This guy's like data analytics. This guy would sit down with Mike Dean, and they would talk for 722,942 hours straight about the game mechanics of Titanx. Awesome people here. This should be an indicator to you of how great Titanx is the quality of the people that are in it, myself not included. Hyper cannot increase Titanx supply. Thank you. Swapping Titanx for Hyper will increase potential Hyper supply. That is correct. So he basically answered the question far more simplistically than I did. Price is supply versus demand. Green candles ironically often help demand. 100%. Staking Hyper gives APR and Hyper. That is the one different. Staking and Hyper pays in Hyper, not ETH. But remember what I said. Hyper is directly attached to Titan. So even though you're earning Hyper, as soon as you earn that, you sell that back to Titan, which removes Hyper and Titan off of the market. And we go down the whole cycle again of scarcity through burning. CryptoMom, Titanx on fire. Then why not just stake Titanx long as the pool payout is good? Wonderful question. That might work well for you. It has worked well for others. And there's ways, if you did that, there's ways to get out. So that's the beautiful thing about Hyper. Long-term staking of Titan is a good way to earn yield. Cryptographic says Maxim Broadcast is the man. No doubt. No doubt. You guys are great people. Ladies and gentlemen, an hour and a half into this. Final questions, please. I can only imagine when my wife comes home and she's like, I thought you were going to do work around the house. Instead, you just talk to random people on the internet about fake internet money, as we have come to know it in our household. Fake internet money. She's awesome. She supports me. Anything else, ladies and gentlemen? This has been way more fun than I had expected, which is why I want to see somebody make a Titanx meme called Making Crypto Fun Again, because that's exactly what it's doing. I've been in crypto 2.5 years, and this is by far the most fun I've ever had. And not just because it's printing green candles, because it's actually fun. It's challenging me. It's game theory. I'm learning so much, and it's a blast. Thank you, Kindness, for the stream. It is my pleasure. Mike Dean, thank you for being here. TH says amazing lessons, cleared my many doubts. Fantastic. If you have any more doubts, keep putting them out there. This channel is geared toward answering questions. I'm not going to call you names. I'm not going to tell you you're stupid. I might tell you you're lazy if the question was just answered 20 minutes ago and you didn't bother to listen or go back. I'm not going to help you with that. But all questions are welcome here. That's the whole reason behind my channel, is I want people to feel welcome. I want people to feel like they can be comfortable asking questions, because that's how we all learn. Thanks for a great stream. All right, looks like everybody's done here. Fantastic. I hope this was worth your time. If you got value from it, please share it with others. That's how this channel grows. That's how I'm able to provide you with interviews of big names. And that tells me that you want me to continue doing it. So please share, please like, please subscribe. And I was going to say one other thing, but I forgot it. So Ryan Torres asks, how did I get started in crypto? I'll make a very long story short. A client of mine introduced me to Ethereum in 2015. He told me, he said the same thing. I can't give you financial advice. However, look at what Bitcoin did. And this is what this is designed to do. If you have any sort of extra capital, maybe consider buying some. Ethereum was $6 at the time. You know what I said? How could it possibly go up anymore? I know everything. So I didn't buy Ethereum at $6. I still stay in touch with that guy, and he does his best to not rub it in, the wide open gaping wound that I have from that absolutely bloody atrocious decision. But I decided to stick it out. I learned the lesson. I followed him. He actually called me. He's the reason why, that gentleman's the reason why I got into the Pulse chain sacrifice. He called me up. Was like, hey, I know you missed Ethereum. There might be another opportunity here. There's this whole Pulse chain thing. That was a lesson in and of itself. Sacrifices are a horrible idea. I'll never participate in one of those again. I could have just taken that money and market bought Pulse chain later. So I'm full of wonderful mistakes and great lessons. I'm also full of positivity and understanding that the lessons I have learned will make me successful in the future. And that's why I'm here today and helping you out. So there you go. That was my short story. Ryan, thank you for asking. What is your best strategy to obtain most profit? We already went over that. So this is where I'm going to kind of make fun of you for asking a lazy question. Peach, you might be a little bit late to the stream. I actually discussed my strategy somewhere around the 40 minutes mark. So go ahead and go back into the stream. With that being said, thank you all for being here today. I'm going to go hang some Christmas lights. 'Tis the season to be merry. Have a wonderful day, everybody.